today I'm going to do a pumping routine day again because I am 7 months postpartum. Alice actually turned 7 months yesterday, but I also got a new pump in the mail to try. We're gonna go ahead and try that out this morning and then also just all day long. Mommed actually sent me the S21s. These are a hands-free pump. Wash them and I'm about to put them together. I'll show you. They're not that many parts, which I love. And we're gonna try them out for my first pump. Hopefully I love them and then I'll use them for the rest of the day. So to build the pump, we don't have that many pieces. So we have our little like shell, we have our duck bill. The duck bill goes into the hole right here, like that. And then we have the flange, which goes over top. And we're just gonna double seal. And then we have our other suction part here, goes in there. And then I charged the motors last night, so then the motor goes right on top like this. All right, and then we have our buttons up here. I'm actually going to add my own 15mm flanges that I have. I had actually started my pumping journey at a 21, but then your sizes can change like the further that you get into postpartum. A lot of times the bigger sizes in the beginning are because of like swelling after birth and stuff, so normally you'll drop like a size pretty fast after birth, but then you'll kind of keep dropping a lot of the times. But this pump came with flange size nipple ruler. It did come with some milk bags, and then it came with the other necessities needed for the pump. So obviously we have our booklets, and then we have chargers, we have extra of the duck bills, like for when you have to replace them. It did come with 24mm, but obviously that is way too big. It also came with cleaning brushes and these super soft bags. Like, you can see how soft they are. It is 7 o'clock. So my pumping journey has been a little all over the place, I would say, because I did go down to 5 pumps a month or two ago. I really dislike pumping, and I actually got my first postpartum period a month ago. I have my second postpartum period now. So it was a couple weeks before my first period. I started getting like major, just, I call it the ick, but like having my pumps on, I just physically want to rip them off because I just don't want to do it anymore. I just don't like it. And I had posted in an exclusively pumping group, and a lot of people said that they felt the same way when their body started like getting ready for their period, and like, or they were ovulating. And then funny, because you know, 2 weeks later I actually got my first period. So this is my second month and it happened again. So it's like anytime I'm like a week to 2 weeks after my period, I start getting like, oh my gosh, I hate pumping so much, I don't want to do this. So my supply actually dropped with my first period coming back. I was making pretty much just enough for Alice, and then it dropped to under that, and then I brought it back up a little bit by bringing back my 6 pumps again. So I was doing 6 pumps per day. I was waking up at 6 a.m. and doing 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9. But my supply just keeps kind of dwindling just because, you know, I'm further along postpartum and I just don't really have the motivation to keep it up. So I am back down to 5 pumps per day. Usually I wake up at like 6:30. It's 7 o'clock right now because I wanted to sleep in a little bit, but I usually always do a power pump for this first pump. So I pump for 20 minutes, I stop for 10 minutes, I pump for 10 minutes, stop for 10 minutes, I pump for 10 minutes. So that's usually like an hour of pumping, or like having them on but not like continuously pumping for an hour. And that just helps like keep my supply up a little bit. It kind of mimics like a cluster feeding, since I feel like that is the hardest. Like if you're I don't have my own opinion about this because I didn't get to breastfeed, but I feel like people that breastfeed always say that like, oh, you know, you don't have to think as much, I guess, with like keeping your supply up because the baby just cluster feeds for you, but maybe that's even worse, I don't know. So let's try these out. All right, we got them on. They're decently quiet. Alice actually just woke up. I'm gonna go grab her, and it's actually kind of nice because these have the time on them, because the normal pumps that I use, like the hands-free ones that I use, don't have a time, so I usually have to like set a timer. So it's kind of nice because now I can just look at these and be like, oh, I pumped for 20 minutes, let me turn them off now. First pump of the day. We'll be pumping for on and off about an hour, drink my coffee, get Alice ready, all that kind of stuff. So I try and make it like relaxing and not, you know, have to do a bunch of things around the house, because that's like what is irritating to me now, is the fact that like Alice, you know, you're playing with her, you're holding with her, and then you're like, oh, I have these pumps on, or I'm spilling milk. Like, it's just kind of irritating. Say hello to Alice. Say hi. Her bib is soaked because she loves spitting. I also think she has a tooth coming in soon, maybe her first tooth. Yeah, but I have the pumps on. Here, I'll show you kind of like how big they are. They're actually kind of small, which I like, but we're gonna see what I got from my morning pump. So here is my left side. Oh, they have like a pour spout up top here. So let's, oh nice, they pour really well. 6.5 ounces. These might be like a 6 capacity, but like it, you know, it came up a little bit, so 6.5. It could probably technically fit 7 total. And then this is my right side. My right side is always less than my left. It didn't start out that way. Do you see her spit? It didn't start out that way, but it became like that probably at like 4 or 5 months postpartum, and this is not plugged in. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this in here so we can measure. So that was 6.5, and then this side was 4 ounces. So we got 10.5 with our first morning pump. These are really nice because they do have the time, and then they have different modes. So I actually changed it to like just the normal expression mode, because I don't usually need like a ton of help with like a letdown. I usually get the letdowns pretty well. So I just went straight to like expression, and then I had it on level 1, which is pretty fast, which I do like. If you change up the level, it'll say like, you know, 2, 3, and that usually means that it's like slower but like stronger suction. But I usually use like my pumps on the lowest level because I find that like quick fast bursts are better for me with like my letdown and stuff, compared to like long slow suction. What are you doing? Okay, so this was first pump of the day. My next pump I'll do at 10, because right now I'm doing, you know, I'm back down to 5 pumps. So usually I do like 6:30, 7, and then I do 10 and 2 and 6 and then 9:30. So that's what I'm currently doing. So next pump will be at 10. Because I woke up later, so my pump was a little bit later, I probably won't get that much out at 10, just because it's only, you know, 2 hours away from now. I'm gonna put this in the fridge, and then I'll just keep adding to it throughout the day. It is 10:35. I just finished pumping. I'm actually really loving these pumps. I was upstairs because Alice is actually taking her nap, and I am working on my TBR cards for my Etsy shop. I make like these bookish cards. It's a game that you can play to like pick what you want to read. I'm working on a bunch of those orders, and so it always works out well because I pump at 10 when Alice takes her nap, and I can, you know, like listen to a podcast or an audiobook and be doing things with my hands wearing my pumps, and it doesn't make me like think, oh, I'm hating pumping right now. I feel like that has been something that I've been really trying to learn. Instead of, just really thinking every single time I'm pumping, like, I hate this, like, you know, I'm so tired of pumping, I'm so tired of pumping. You know, I don't want to stop pumping because, you know, I really love that Alice is getting breast milk, and especially during this winter season, you know, I feel like it's very important to keep her immunity up. She hasn't been sick yet, and knock on everything, you know, none of us have gotten sick, and I really don't want that to happen. And so at least to keep her immunity up, but also formula is expensive. And so if it's something where it's like, you know, I can change up my routine, I can change up my pumping schedule, I can change up what I'm doing while I'm pumping in order to make it so that way I can keep going and just go, like, my original goal was 12 months. I honestly don't think I'm going to be pumping, you know, up until 12 months. I do have a pretty large freezer stash because I was an oversupplier at first. My goal is probably to, you know, start the weaning process a couple months early before she would hit 12 months and then see where my freezer stash gets me. Right now, I am working on, you know, I dropped to the 5 pumps in order to help with, you know, just the mentalness of it all. And, you know, that way it doesn't feel like it's always time to pump. But then I try and do things that won't irritate me when I'm pumping. So something about me is like, even though I have the hands-free pumps, I really don't like cleaning while I have the pumps on. I just feel like I'm constantly being, you know, wondering if I'm gonna be spilling, or like it feels also weird when I'm like leaning over. I don't like that feeling of like the suction when I'm leaning over. It gives me the ick. I try and do other things. So for instance, like working on my cards is a good one. Another one is at night when I'm doing my pumps, Alvin and I will either watch a show, or I also really enjoy playing like the Switch. So I'll play a game, and that works out really well because I'm you know, I'm focused on the game and I'm not sitting here focusing on, gosh, I really hate this. And then those 30 minutes like fly by because I still have to pump for 30 minutes in order to like get all my letdowns. I get like 2 or 3 letdowns, and a lot of times that third letdown doesn't come until like the 28-minute mark. Let's see what I got here. I'll show you really quickly. Like, these pumps, I feel like are super, like, they don't stick out really far. I love that they don't stick up here. Like, you literally can't even see them. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's not gonna be that much because obviously I pumped 2 hours ago. So on the counter, they actually stand like this, and I'll show you. So this is what I got after, oh, they have the, actually I have markings on the side. They're right here, but so far I'm actually really loving everything about this pump. Like, I love the way it sits up. I love the way it pours. I am responding really well to it. I love that it's only a couple parts in order to clean. This actually might be my new favorite pump, which I guess is good, you know, having a new favorite pump in this part of my journey. Okay, 2.5 ounces is what I got. I probably should put a disclaimer because, you know, like, you first saw my first pump of the day, which is large, you know, that was 10.5 ounces, but that's because I go all night long. Like, my last pump is at 9:30 at night, and then, you know, I'm not pumping again until like 6:37 in the morning. So that's why it's so much. It used to be even more, you know, when I had a larger supply, but usually throughout the day then I'm pumping like 3 to 5 ounces, you know, depending upon the amount of hours in between. So 2.5 ounces, and it was 10:30. So I will see you guys at 2 o'clock. Yeah, because 2 o'clock is my next pump, and that's usually when Alice will take her second nap. Or sometimes I wait until 2:30. Like, if she goes down at 2:30 because she took like a long first nap, then I'll pump at 2:30, but I'll see you around that time. It is actually almost 3 o'clock. It's like 2:54. I just did my 3rd pump of the day. And so how I do my milk, like, this was the first milk that I had this morning, right? And I put it in the jar because I have like the pour lids that you can add onto the mason jar, and that makes it easy to do bottles in the morning. And then I have, this is the 2.5 ounces from earlier. And so what I do is, like, now that this is cold, I add this to my jar. I just did my pump. This is actually the left and the right. Here, I'll switch. So that's what I got from just this past 3 ounces. So then this goes in the fridge to cool down, and I did notice on my pumps, all right, so this one has two bars left of the battery, and then I think this one had 1 bar. Well, it like first showed up as 2 and then it went down to 1. I guess I'll wait and I'll do my 6 o'clock pump, and then maybe I'll charge them for my last pump. The normal hands-free pumps that I use, I usually can get actually all 6 pumps out of 1 charge. These ones, I might not be able to, but I'll charge them that way. That way they don't die during this video. Even with how much they've been, you know, keeping up, and I did a power pump and everything, that still is a really good battery charge, because I've also had a couple that I could only get 2 or 3 pumps out of them, and that's terrible. So far, I would say the battery is the only partial con. Other than that, I am really enjoying these, and they just feel so comfortable and so nice on. So I actually think I'm gonna be switching to these as my primary pump. And the hands-free pump I've been using, that's like a different brand, I think is gonna just be like my backup pump for, you know, if these are dirty or if I'm like traveling and I, you know, need to bring an extra one so I don't have to wash them and stuff. So I'm really enjoying these so far. It is 7:11. I actually did this pump at 6:30 because that's after I had put Alice to bed. So I'm gonna take them off and see how much we got. I've been working on cards again, but it'll be nice once I take these off, then I can kind of like relax and everything, and then I'll do my very last pump around 9:30ish. I have not charged them yet, so this is what we got for now. All right, so this time we got 3.5 ounces, kind of 3.75, but I'm just gonna count it as 3.5. So got 1 more pump to go, and then that'll be it for the day. So my last pump of the night last night, I got 3 ounces. I did this pump at 9:30, and it was a 30-minute pump, and so that is my 7 months postpartum pumping routine. So I am doing 5 pumps and about around the times that I actually did them in this video. I obviously am not pumping quite enough for Alice to just drink everything I'm pumping fresh. But like I said, I do have a freezer stash, and honestly, it's just a lot to keep up with, to keep your supply just constantly up for the entire, you know, 12 months that you might have planned to, you know, exclusively pump or breastfeed. So I am happy where my supply is at. I'm not gonna be adding any more pumps in. If anything, I will be dropping to 4 pumps once I get that feeling of like, you know, I want to quit, I want to be done. That's always a really good time to drop a pump in order to keep like your mental sanity going. So I'm just gonna ride it out, see how long I get, you know, see what happens whenever I get close enough to start weaning. I wanted to thank Mommed so much for sending me these pumps, because honestly, it actually makes me really excited to pump with a new pump. And so it feels like, you know, something that is kind of reviving my pumping journey. So that's another tip if you are looking for a new pump, if you want something to, you know, look forward to pumping, make you kind of maybe have a different output, definitely get a new pump. And Mommed is actually offering a 10% off discount code. I will link it down below and try and put it up on the screen for you guys, so that way you can also get these pumps if you want to try them out. I actually love them. The only con that I saw was the battery life not lasting as long as the other pumps that I have, but of course they actually last longer than other name brand pumps that I've seen. They actually have a lot of pros compared to some of the other pumps I've been using. I love the shape of them. I love how much they can fit inside. I love that they're very soft. They're not like, you know, suctioning the crap out of you. They're very quiet. They're very discreet. And my favorite part is that they're easy to clean. I don't know why, but some of the pumps like that have a million different pieces drive me crazy when it comes to like actually cleaning them. I love that these are only 4 pieces. So I really like these. These are the pumps now that I'm gonna be using all the time. And the ones that I've been using are gonna be my backup pump for, you know, if these are dirty and I don't feel like cleaning them. But if you have any questions regarding my pumping, you can definitely drop them down below and I will answer them as best as I can. If you have questions about pumping on the go, I actually did a video. We went to Maine, which was a 12-hour road trip, and I pumped the entire time. And so I show you all of my like traveling gear and just how to pump if you're like in a hotel room and you know you don't have a big sink or like things like that. And so you can check out that video here. So this is my pumping right now here at home with 5 pumps per day. And if you want to travel, that video has all of the tips of how to travel and pump and do all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you again soon in Vlogmas, because there's gonna be a lot of me on this channel here in just a week or so. Bye everyone.